I'm Mike Sullivan.
And I'm Victoria Howerton.
And we just wrapped up a little putting lesson with you, right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about how you can get much better at your game and find ways to lower strokes by becoming a better putter. All right, so when we look back at your video from earlier here, Victoria, right? Mm-hmm. So the first thing we talked about was making sure we were going to get at setup, basically the tip of your putter shaft based in the middle of your body, and before you had it like too far back in your stance. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we talked about, you know, when you go ahead and make your putt, and I'm going to put just like a little box around your head so you can see what's going on with that.
All right.
We got a lot of movement there, right?
Yeah.
And basically what happens is you go to strike the ball, it looks like you actually kind of shift into your back foot a little bit, and that's just going to give you little consistency issues, okay?
Yeah.
All right? So we want to try to keep that head much more steady throughout the course of our putt, okay? So we're going to use the Perfect Motion app so you can track it while you're putting. Okay. We're not going to do an evaluation like mode or anything. We're just going to do some motion maps. And then I'm going to show you, I can show you your swing, what happens with your putt on video, and you'll also be able to see what's happening on that Perfect Motion, on the Perfect Motion app. And what's cool about it is, with the snapshot thing, you'll be able to just use your phone like at home. So we're going to do this actually the way you would do it at home. So I'm going to enable snapshots right here, okay? I have you on level 2. Okay. And you know, actually, I feel like for you, you're probably not going to even need to be too concerned with if it says it was a good stroke or not, because you're going to be able to see what's basically going on with your chest and your head just by watching the little app here. And I'll show you that. So we'll hit start, counting down. So let me just place it here.
4,
and
3, 2.
The people watching this can't see this, but I've got a range basket set up right here.
1.
Lean into
Set
there.
up to putt. Look to target. Look back at ball. Go. Peaked. Putt captured.
Okay, so we'll hold off right there. Now we're on level 2, and that said that was well done. But we'll take a look when we look at the snapshot and the motion map here. Okay, so I'm going to back it up. Okay, there is our little motion map. Okay, so let's look at the map. So right now I hit the little 1 button there in the middle. That's basically the center of your chest. If I tap that, it's going to show us what's going on throughout the course of your stroke. Okay, so that shows a whole lot of movement because it catches every little thing. But if we put it into context with your video here, right? You can see your head kind of a little bit forward, then really moving back.
Yeah.
Can you see that as I do that? Right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing we saw on the iPad earlier.
Okay.
Okay. So how do we get out of that, right? When you look at this one more time, it looks like also you're probably putting weight into your back foot as you strike that putt. And this is actually after you saw the video. Like, I'm assuming you didn't do that on purpose.
No, yeah.
You're trying to do it like steady and solid.
Yes.
Okay, so let me show you here. Let me jump on the mat for a second. Borrow your putter. Okay. So and this is like a thing that I've been doing for a long time to help me out a ton, is I'm going to set up, and I like to just keep everything totally square in putting. Right? So my feet, my knees, my hips, my shoulders are all parallel to the target line. I want the tip of the putter to be about the middle of my stance here. So that puts the ball a little more forward. Now to help me stay more steady, I pretend that like my front hip is just leaning on the inside of a door frame. So I just kind of lean everything a little bit onto my front side, but I feel noticeable that there's more weight on my front foot than on my back foot. And I'm just going to keep the weight there and pretend I'm just kind of leaning against a door inside a door frame. And at first, Victoria, I would say make sure that you noticeably just keep your head solid after you hit the putt, So hit it, and then wait to hear it, drop in the hole, and then look.
All right.
Now, I don't love that if it may make you uncomfortable on the golf course.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm saying you should always putt like that, but for right now, because you're kind of doing a little bit of the opposite, right? Let's just try to do it, hit, and wait.
All right.
And then look. All right? Let's try it. And we're going to use the app too, okay? So
4, 3, 2, 1.
I just moved it.
4, 3, 2, 1. Set up to putt. Look to target. Look back at ball. Head tilt left.
Good. Okay, here's what it's saying. So it's set up, Victoria, it wants your head like straight up and down.
Yeah.
And your head is tilted quite a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? So when it says head tilted 13 degrees, you're going to have to adjust it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that again.
So my head should still be centered, but my body should be like.
More in your front foot, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's pretty smart. Great, much better. Okay, so that was much better. So I can tell in one putt, right? So now, just back this up, look at that last motion map. Okay. So see that little, how it's tilted a little bit there? That shows you what your head tilt is.
Oh, okay.
So before you're probably just way too far, because when you put weight on your front foot, and that's something that people do, is they'll do the right thing, but they make other compensations as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say you have to necessarily make people, you know, like perfect. So we do want to basically focus on the pressure more in the front foot.
All right.
But I think just adjusting the head tilt after you do that is fairly easy for you to do, right? Let's look at your snapshot.
Yeah, it definitely didn't move much.
Right, much better, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now if we look at the other one, which was, look, all those things came back from earlier.
Oh, wow.
So if you look over here, this is an earlier snapshot. Oh yeah, see it already going forward? Look at the difference, right?
Okay.
So I would highly recommend, you know, using this thing at home. And now going back to this again, what I would say is continue to work on minimizing the amount of movement on that.
Okay.
And then once you get pretty good at that, maybe try to get your head a little more straight up and down.
All right.
Okay? Let's just do a few more before we go. Okay, I just recorded that, didn't even look at it. Let's see what we got, okay? So this one here was the very first one. So you can see balls, you know, the ball position is definitely back in your stance, right? This is the newest one on the right. Okay. I'll make that a little bit smaller here. Okay. Watch on the left the stroke. See the head and the like sternum, how much movement we got there?
Yeah.
Right? Let's see this one.
Much better, definitely.
Much better.
It pops up a little bit near the end, but not too much.
Much better. And this is just a few minutes of practice. And I can tell by looking at you, you could have more pressure into that front foot.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's just what I would say is, you know, use the app, but let's just hit a few more before we go, focusing the pressure on the front foot.
Okay.
All right? So let's get a little more into your front foot. Good. Really, there you go. Good. Hands forward a little bit. Good. Let's go ahead and hit your putt. Much better. Good. I can tell when you watch the playback on this video over here, it's going to be a ton better.
Okay.
All right. So for you, the thing that's going to help you out a ton, again, is going to be just if you're, and I hate talking too much about your head, but if your head and your sternum are steady, it's going to be a lot easier for you to repeat your stroke and be more precise than if you've got all this stuff,
All right.
going on. And you can work on this a ton right at home. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks for doing that on video.
No problem.
We hope that helps. See you next time.